Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
What's good, purposeful people? This is LaShawn Spry. I am back with yet another episode of First Ladies Chat. This is not about who you're married to. This is about a woman who lives faithful, who lives industrious, who is resourceful, strong, and trustworthy. And tonight I have the distinct pleasure of speaking to basically a local celebrity, a local icon. If you know anything about her, or her husband, you already know that this is a huge deal for her to give her time and her experiences and her wisdom to this platform. This is Lady Joy Cooper.
Hey, blessings to the people of God. Listen, with an introduction like that, I can't go wrong. It's nothing I could do. I think you've done it all. Ain't nothing I could do. It's nothing left for me to say except for blessings to the people of God. And I'm just praying through this conversation and the ones to follow that we can be a blessing to God's kingdom. And might I say, you are super beautiful, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Lady J. I
I'm
couldn't help
telling you,
it.
you got y'all have to excuse me. I'll put my makeup on for the event, but I'm just saying.
Listen, she is just getting off work. We are talking to women. I told another young lady, Lady Tina Duke, I spoke with her yesterday. I'm like, listen, I knew what I was dealing with when God downloaded into my spirit who was going to be on this platform. I'm dealing with a bunch of bosses. So you all are busy.
But
You
that's all right. I'm giving you the realness of it all.
absolutely.
Pop, pop, pop. Okay. Come
And it's
on.
still
Anybody watching tonight, you seeing the realness of the headband wig. Come on. Hallelujah. It'll help you. It'll bless you.
it'll keep you on time.
It'll keep you on time. It'll keep your edges protected. Come on,
Period.
somebody. We're giving you realness. We're giving you all this love. So y'all better get all this love tonight.
Amen. Okay, so I will go into the conversation. Lady Joy, I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey, if you will, and what inspired your personal walk with the Lord.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a long journey because I'm a super old grandma. I'm just so thankful to be a grandma. I love my grandchildren. I have four precious grandchildren, two granddaughters, and two grandsons, bonus grandsons. And just God has just really blessed me. I'm just thankful He's preserved me and kept me. I've always been, well, not always necessarily been, I've been in the church. But my relationship was strengthened when I got saved, and I got saved around 16. My father is a pilot, so we traveled around, but my mom was raised Kojic. My grandfather was a superintendent in the Church of God in Christ. But my dad had an aspiration as a pilot to fly captain. So we moved quite a bit. Wherever he would be offered an opportunity as an African American male to fly, that's where we went. So right before coming here to Miami, when I was 6, 7, and 8, we lived in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for 3 years. And my dad was outsourced by TWA to Saudi Arabian Airlines. So coming here at that time was a bit of a culture shock. I didn't know American TV. I didn't know what the first time I saw Charlie's Angels, I was like, what is because we didn't have all of that stuff overseas. And so started fourth grade here at Parkview Elementary. And just kind of went up, growing up, and went to high school at NMB. And my grandfather would always come to Miami, and he would preach at Gamble Memorial Church of God in Christ. And really, generally, that's really the only time we really went to church, even though my mom was a PK. When my grandfather would visit, that would be the only time. So I wasn't even aware that there was a Church of God in Christ other than that particular church.
Right.
And then my aunt came to visit, and she looked in the Yellow Pages and found Cooper Temple Church of God in Christ.
Y'all don't know what
And,
that is.
and let me tell you,
I don't know what the yellow pages are.
y'all don't even know what that is, right? Called the church, and one of the deacons, blessed deacon who has gone on to be with the Lord, answered. And he said, oh, yeah, we got church at 11 o'clock. Didn't even know that church was on 199th Street. And my life just changed. I got saved under my father-in-law's after we joined. I mean, I really got filled. We had them old-fashioned tearing services.
Yes, on the altar
And
until
Bishop Cooper and I at that time, we were just good friends. We were always good friends. We didn't start dating until 14 and 16 years of age. And I'm the oldest, in case you didn't know. So I was a 16-year-old.
Wow.
And just, fell in love with music, fell in love with the church, got saved, and been working in the church ever since. And I'm telling you, it's been a journey. And coming up through the ranks of doing different things. I have done everything in the church, Lady Spry. If you were to say who was out there on Saturday cleaning, we cleaned the bathroom. We did everything. We had dinner sales, we had concerts, we had midnight musicals. Um, and then for some reason we started writing, and Bishop Cooper's gifted in the area of music. So we did our first recording. Nobody even thought that it could be done. It was just crazy. We
So
recorded
this
two
was
samples.
before he became the pastor of the church that y'all were doing?
Right. He was just, well, I'm not gonna say just, he was the minister of music. Most pastors have a
Yes.
love, as you know,
Yes.
for the music,
Affinity for music. Yes.
playing. Everybody come up fighting over the drums. So he started playing at 5. He asked his dad to anoint his hands. And the first time he ever played, they didn't even think he could play. But my uncle Errol was late. He was the organist, and he was late. And my husband told his dad, he said, "Dad, I could play the choir in." And his dad said, "Well, I guess some noise is better than no noise." So
Illinois.
he got on and he played. And everybody was just like, the choir couldn't even march in because they were like, he could play.
Him?
And we just had a natural love for music always, and started writing, singing, recording, and music was really going to be our focus. I mean, I went to school also to be an educator, so I started teaching in 91. So I've been in the system for quite some time. But music has always been our first love, in particular church music, gospel music. Even though we like all kind of music, we love all kind of music. But we started writing, and God gave us, different songs and different platforms, and blessed us to get a recording contract. This is back in the day when you needed a record company. You don't need one now. Come on, people of
No.
God. You don't need one.
Stream.
Cut out the middleman. You don't need it. Okay, you got Instagram, you got
Right.
got
YouTube,
everything.
everything.
You can make you don't even need to go in the studio. Just put it on the AI in the chat GPT.
We had
So
one of our daughters. She goes right up in the spare bedroom and records a whole song. Like she buys the track and just writes the music and records the whole song.
listen, that's the world we live in. And that has been the challenge for me, changing with the times. I think I would say the Lord has blessed us to do a pretty good job at we still have a traditional base with Kojic,
Right.
but I think we've done a pretty good job at trying to bridge the gap, because once my mother-in-law and father-in-law passed away in 97 and 98, and Mark became the pastor, there were some members that are the older members that really had to learn how to kind of flow in a different way. Some decided they didn't want to, some stayed, other new members came. And then that's just kind of been the part of the journey. We were talking before because we got so caught up. But one of the things I was going to say was that, God just gives us that charge of people, but we don't own anyone. We would love to keep people forever, but I have always been blessed to know that if I could help someone in some way at some stage, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be with us always. I just really believe that people have been sent to us for a reason and a season. I'm gonna say it like that.
Yeah.
But we don't own anyone, and it's God that is in control. And I think when you learn that, it makes those seasons bearable.
Right.
Because there have been some people that have left that I was very sad when they left. And my heart, my heart was broken.
Yeah.
But I knew that we had done our best to pastor them for that season.
Right.
And then God sent more people. And that's really kind of how we are always been a church of love at Upper Room. So that's been the blessing of the journey. And again, all I can say is that I'm very, very thankful for us to have been doing ministry as long as we have,
Right.
because I'm telling you, they said, ain't no way.
That's where God does his best work, though.
They
When
said,
man says
who
no,
gonna be the pastor?
yeah.
I never would have believed it, but it's just been God that has kept us this long. So if he did it for me, he can do it for you.
Oh, listen, what I hear permeating, and it's so godlike, but what I hear permeating through your story is strength. Like everything, even from childhood with traveling around with your dad, being a pilot, and pursuing his ambitions and being able to see that, even from your mom, this stylish, fashionista,
She is a
gifted hairstylist,
listen,
like
she bad. She bad. If y'all ever want to know how did machine hair weaving come to Miami-Dade County,
right.
you gonna check with Mother Sylvia Brown because she went to class. She was one of the first to go to Bronner Brothers shows and bring that stuff back.
Mhm.
And people used to kind of make fun when my mom first started doing hair weaving.
Mhm.
Back then it was kind of frowned upon. People would make fun of you.
Right.
But babe, look at this industry. Look at this
Exactly.
industry.
It's $1 billion industry.
$1 billion. And that sister was tapped in. We used to have hair in the house, and my dad would be like, people don't want this stuff. And my mom said, wait and see. And really, she started doing cancer patients
Wow.
and doing hair replacement for cancer patients and building caps.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I want to say 1989, 1987, because we had a beauty shop at that time. My
Mm.
mom was building caps for people with cancer. And then fast forward to her journey, she ended up going through cancer, breast cancer, double breast cancer, and being a survivor. And you just, like we were just talking, you just never know what tools God is going to give you for the journey.
Yes.
So you can never afford to say, oh, I don't need that. I don't need to learn that. You don't know what you're going to need. You don't know what tools God is going to put in your arsenal that are going to help you to survive whatever the next stage is that he wants to take you to. And
Yes.
so I watched her do that with a lot of love and kindness. And of course, she also did for the people that wanted a cosmetic, for purposes. She was doing curly perms back in the day and all that kind of stuff. So very hardworking family, very industrious family. Like you were talking about the strength,
Yes.
very important to us. We've always had a very, very strong work ethic. But like what I was just about to say, sometimes it's very hard to turn off.
Yeah.
Because she would come home and be talking to us like she was talking to her students in cosmetology class.
Right.
I
Right.
like, man, who are you
Oh,
yelling at?
it's so difficult to navigate that balance. So even with this model of a woman, this Proverbs 31 woman,
Mm-hmm.
there are so many different attributes. I want to make that clear too. There's more than just these five that
Right.
are spoken of by
Mm-hmm.
Lemuel's mother, but the five that we're talking about for this particular conference is being faithful, industrious, resourceful, strong, and trustworthy.
Yeah.
So with the aspect of strength, like you said, God will put these tools in your arsenal,
Oh yeah.
the purpose of being successful on your journey of life. Whatever He
Right.
has for your path, He's going to give you what you need to be successful. So
Right.
I want to know if you can give us a scenario of where being strong was the tool that you needed for that particular scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my son, my middle son, Jonathan, suffered a tragic injury. I say strategic because his injury actually compelled us and moved us to, I think, a higher level of ministry. We had suffered the loss of Bishop's parents, and that was a big blow because it propelled us straight into ministry. He had been assisting, his father passed away in 97, and then he became the assistant pastor for his mom. And she was groundbreaking because in Kojic, you don't see women pastors.
Right.
But Bishop Cohen was a visionary, and he appointed Mark's mom to pastor, and he was assisting. And she made it clear to him that she was just only holding the church down for a year, so that he could go through his ministerial training and then take over the pastorate. And then a year after my father-in-law died, then she passed.
Wow.
And you would have kind of thought that would be enough. You know, we're pressed into ministry right away. We're kind of learning on the job training. We're navigating our way through. We kind of got the church to a really, really good, healthy space. My son, right before his going into his 10th grade year, was tragically injured by AK-47 in Miami Gardens, shot well shot at many, many times, but hit 8 times. Bullet broke his femur, almost severed his femoral artery. He was airlifted to Jackson. They put him and induced him in a coma so they could get the very best surgeon to come in and replace his right leg. There's a rod in his femur, and and he was injured all on his side from running away from this gunfire in Miami Gardens. And up until that point, I thought we had kind of gotten ourselves on a really good place. I mean, we suffered the loss, we responded with responsibility, we took on the charge and answered the call for ministry. We were loving the people, church was growing, all of that good stuff. And it was a good season.
Yeah.
We had gone to the Stellar Awards. We won a Stellar Award for what God has for me for the album was the Springtime, My Mass Choir. And everything just seemed to be an upswing.
Right.
And there began to be violence in Miami Gardens, which there always has been, but it kind of escalated this particular summer. And my son was a victim of gun violence. And thank God he survived. A lot of physical therapy, learning how to walk again. He was out of school for half a year on hospital homebound. But I want to tell you, if you were to ask me one of the most challenging seasons of my life, that was it. Because if I may be honest, I couldn't understand why, if we were doing everything that God had called us to do with fidelity,
Yes.
we weren't in it for the money.
Right.
We weren't taking advantage of God's people.
Right.
We weren't walking around like with the big head and puffed out chest, like, look at us, we all of that in a bag of chips, serve us. Because we always been into serving. Like I very rarely, I have adjutants, but we serve one another. Like I'm not into that. I don't need nobody to wipe my hair. I don't need nothing. Like I just need a friend sometimes and a companion to travel with that we can laugh and talk together. But I don't need that. I don't believe in subjugation of God's people. I don't believe that just because you're in a position of authority, I believe you have to lead with integrity. So what I couldn't understand was why this happened to us. I could not understand. Say, God, why did this happen? I was devastated. I was devastated. And then the devil began to really play tricks with my mind. I became ashamed because here we are preaching the gospel, traveling all over, doing concerts, doing revivals, doing all of this. And you mean to tell me my son, he lay at the point of death? I mean, they literally had to kill him. They had to put him in a coma so that, and stop the bleed. And I remember when they airlifted him from Miami Gardens and we got in the car, we followed the helicopter. I'm looking up at the helicopter as we're going to Jackson. And I just was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. There are many, many lessons that came out of that experience. And it definitely was a healing process for me because I never left that hospital. Like they had to force me to leave. I slept in the chair. I took my baths there. They brought me clothes there. I just did not want to leave his side. I was so mortified. And all I can say is nobody but God. Nobody but God brought us through that. And then even after he began to be on the mend and he went to rehabilitation and then finally home, I was ashamed to go to church. I was ashamed. Like I was like, these people are, and that's how the devil played tricks on my mind. He said, these people gonna look at you like, oh yeah, Miss Evangelist. Oh yeah, Miss Missionary. Oh yeah, what you said God could do. Like, but then I remember a message that my father-in-law spoke. where there was a woman. He told a story about a woman who kept saying, "Why me, Lord? Why me?" And I realized that's who I had become. Instead of me saying, "Why not me? Why can't my life be used as a testimony to show people that have gone through that you can make it through?" I was complaining about what I was going through. And my immaturity, and everybody goes through, there's nothing wrong with that because it's a part of your growth. But in my immaturity, I could not see my way to the other side of that. And I really grieved that situation because I felt like it was going to cause people to look at us in a different way. And once I let go and let God,
It did though, but not
it,
in the way that you thought.
exactly,
Yeah.
it
You
became a
turned out to be
beacon.
a testimony and, a testament of strength, like literally of
Yeah.
what God can do when
I
you,
mean, I was literally sick. When I say sick, sick in my mind, sick in my body, sick in my spirit. And so I can honestly tell you today that I know the healing power of God. And I know that in our weakness, He's perfecting us
yeah.
with strength because I kind of just felt like I had lost all hope and I was broken down to to nothing. And it was only His love and the power of God. Like when the saint says the power of God is holding me up, that helped me to kind of build back up again. Like I didn't want to take any dates. I didn't want to go preach for anybody. I didn't want to share or minister a word or witness to anybody. I felt like somebody was going to look at me and go, "Oh yeah, right. You know, you trying to tell me about God." But I know now that that was just the enemy's way of trying to stop me in my purpose.
Yes.
And so, through the through time and a lot of study in the word, a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting,
Mm.
God has brought us out of that situation. And I really declare the victory in more ways than one. So, I mean, I would never say that that's a template for anybody because I know people have suffered and gone through, and there are people have lost their children. I'm one that could say, and that was, I got to tell you, that was an area of guilt for me too,
That he survived it.
because it's hard to testify to people who have gone through gun violence with their children when their children didn't make it.
Yes.
I felt kind of boxed in. I'm like, I don't know how to deliver this message
Yeah.
that God will see you through
Yeah.
and that His will is perfect and that whatever He does well. It was hard for me.
Whatever he does. So that's this is crazy. Okay.
It took a while to get there though.
Yeah. Like none of us want to need a miracle if we're very honest. Like sometimes I feel like we are reckless with our words, like in church. And I don't mean when we ask for miracles or when we ask God for miracle signs and wonders, I just think we need to be very cognizant.
Careful.
Yes, yes, because if you need a miracle, it is because the situation,
Something is
whatever it is out of your hands. Something
absolutely,
very wrong.
absolutely. And I could not find that peace until I got really in the midst of the storm.
Yes.
I literally had to put my head down and go forward and embrace the storm to get to to the center of His will for my life.
Mm.
Because that is where I found safety. That is where I found peace. That's where the thoughts stopped raging and the chaos, everything just kind of calmed down. When I literally gave up and said, "God, I surrender," because I was just like you. I was trying to do everything. I mean, I was running to physical therapy. I was running my daughter still to her tutoring after school activities. I was running at the church. It's like I felt like if I outworked, then maybe I could kind of make everything right. And it still wasn't right because God just wanted to get me to a place where I completely and totally depend on Him. One thing you mentioned something we talked about before this health and wellness,
Yes.
self-care. Self-care is not an indication that you're not strong.
Right.
Taking time for yourself is probably one of the strongest things you can do. So, because you really don't want to injure anybody and pop off on people because you haven't taken the time to assess yourself and to find out what you need.
Yeah.
And a lot of women do not do that. And as a result, they end up bitter, they end up sick, they end up finding out that they have ailments that they have not addressed. So self-care is also, I think, a part of that strength process that, again, we have to see what it is and we have to address it, whether it's in people that we're helping or most especially in ourselves. You know, you can't really do anything for anyone else until you kind of address that for yourself as well.
And I
I,
hear a lot of conversation now about boundaries, boundaries.
healthy,
Mm,
healthy boundaries.
yes, it's
Healthy,
so important. It's important. And that's another tool in your arsenal, like
right,
knowing how to create that, when to create that, when it's necessary, what that looks like.
right. All with love.
Yeah.
All with love. I mean, I don't think there's anything you can't do. I found in ministry, if people know or have a sense that you are doing something or saying something out of love and concern, and that, like we said before, that you're trustworthy and you're not going to go spreading it all over the place and talk about them. If people can really come to a place of being able to know that you're speaking out of love, setting boundaries out of love, and you tell them, you know,
Yeah.
one good way that people can know it, tell them,
Communicate.
I love you, but right now I need to do this. I love you, but let's just table this conversation. There's nothing wrong with that at all. People need to know that they're loved and that they're valued, that we minister to. But they also need to know, don't come popping up at my house without being invited.
Have a husband, grandchildren. You don't know what's going on over here.
Right, right. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, again, it's healthy.
Yes. Okay.
Everything is better by invitation. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
It's good. Like, I don't ever want to go anywhere that I'm not invited.
For
Like,
both parties. And that keeps down offense,
yeah.
disruption.
We're supposed to, the Bible said we're supposed to prefer one another. We're supposed to prefer the saints. You
Yeah.
know, we're supposed to give deference and we're supposed to honor and respect, especially the elderly saints, you know, the ones who paved the way. We're supposed to do that. But again, with everybody, I don't care what your age group is. I don't care if it's I might be talking to like a toddler in church. I get right down. Hey, I love you, but you're going to stop running.
Don't keep
You,
up.
yeah. You know, I didn't get that one. I don't know about you, but I didn't get that coming up in the church.
No, you either got pinched or slapped.
Max, you ain't listen. My grandfather had some of the most gangster ushers. You can't chew gum, you're gonna get hit in the back of your head. They're pulling you, they're
Or that
snatching
fan
you.
up in your face, like,
Come on.
um,
Yeah. Nowadays, honestly, we need that discipline, but we need it with love. I don't know about you, but there's all kind of stuff going on in church. I don't like seeing some of the stuff that I see going on in church. I don't think it does not give honor to God. It does not reverence the house. But again, some people don't know because they haven't necessarily been taught. And so that means we have to do it with love. That's all I'm saying. Just do it with love. Whatever you do it in love, do it with kindness, again, do it with patience. You got to have a lot of patience.
I'm learning.
Patience is strength.
I'm learning.
Yes.
I
Wow,
can't fix everything.
you're
Stop.
graceful. You're graceful. You're beautiful.
Thank you, lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Tell me one thing without giving away too much. Tell me one thing that you are excited to share with the ladies on October 4th.
what is one thing that I'm super excited? Well, I'm a naturally enthusiastic person, so I'm excited about everything. And I have to tell you, before even thinking about myself, I looked at all the beautiful women that you have on the panel. As a matter of fact, I ran into First Lady Roll at the grocery store And we were talking, and I was so excited to see her and her beautiful son because, I don't always get a chance to see them, and we just ran into each other. And I'm just really excited about being outside. Okay.
Sir.
I don't get out much. And not because I don't want to, but it just seems like there's always something to do.
Yes.
So I'm excited really about being able to glean and sit in the setting with all of these beautiful women and hear their experiences. I feel like sometimes we can get in a bubble,
Right.
and when we get in that bubble, we don't we're just so self-centered, thinking about everything we have to do, that we don't take the time to gain strength from others.
Yes.
So that's one thing that if you were to ask me what I'm really excited about when I looked at that beautiful array of women and the differences that they have, and I kind of want to know, I want to hear a little bit about what's going on other places.
Yes.
I think we need more of that.
Yeah.
Because when you need to know there's a different way to do something or a different strategy for doing something. So if you were to ask me what I'm most excited about, that is what first of all, I'm excited for being invited. And I'm excited for being able to share with some of those women and hear what they have to say. Because I really think that I need that as I'm getting older. I'm looking for different ways to do things with excellence.
Yes.
And I want to hear what's working for others, what's not working, and, kind of hear how I can do things a little bit better.
Love that.
I think I can be better.
Right. We all can. So listen, ladies, we are closing this interview because I feel like y'all got too much. If it has been enough to encourage you and inspire you to get your tickets, then God has done his work through this.
Yes.
interview. So listen, get your tickets. Go to my website, www.lashawnsbride.com/events, and it will take you directly to the events page to purchase your tickets. Again, it will be Lady Joy Cooper, Lady Chanel Moore, Lady Tina Duke, Lady Kiki Butler, and myself. And we want you all to come and be in the building. It will not be streamed because I just feel in my spirit that I need it to be a safe environment for these women to be able to share their heart, to receive what they need from God, and to pour out their hearts to one another. And if you've ever been in an environment where women are on one accord, it is powerful. And
Yes.
God moves in ways that you cannot even articulate, you cannot even imagine. So please be in the building. This is not about money. The budget is going to be taken care of anyway. This is about you getting what you need. And there'll be food. There'll be food.
Winner.
So thank you all for joining. Tune in next week when I'll be talking to Lady Tina Duke. Until next time, deuces.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.